Greetings, I'm Professor Hobo, and today we are not doing a HOBOTECH nose review because the product that I am reviewing is not really a tech product. It is a product that was sent to me by accident by Westinghouse. They meant to send me a generator. I ended up getting this product instead. I really didn't want to review it, but I didn't feel like sending it back either. And it was something I could use on the homestead, so I'm thinking, what the heck, I'll do a quick and dirty review on it and see if you guys are interested in it. I actually have a coupon code for it, so you can get a discount on it. So some of you out there might be interested in this product. It is the Westinghouse ePX3000 pressure washer. Now this thing can do over 2,000 PSI, and it comes with all these different nozzles. One of the things that I was really surprised to see is how small it is. Once you take off all these accessories, the unit itself is actually smaller than the one I've been carrying with me on the road. The one I've been carrying with me on the road is a review I did, I don't know, probably a year. It's probably been 2 years now since I did that review. And that model's bigger and less powerful, and it hasn't really been great. It was an $80 pressure washer, so, you know, what was I expecting? But this one's a little more expensive, but it's also a lot higher quality, and of course it comes from a name brand, Westinghouse, that you all know and love. So let's check it out. So because this product has water in it, because I've used it, we're not taking it upstairs in the studio. We're gonna go ahead and do it in this nice noisy garage. But what comes in the box? Glad you asked. You get the manual. You get these wheels, which you can put on it. I haven't put them on yet, but I'm gonna do that. You get a set of 4 different nozzles. So you actually have to interchange the nozzles on these for different spray patterns. You get the high pressure hose, of course, and then you get the wand, which you just put this together, and we're gonna do that here in a minute. Then you get this 3-piece set of holders. This one actually holds the pressure hose, and these 2 snap on to hold the wand itself. So let's go ahead and put it together. So this one just goes on the bottom, slides up. This one slides in from back here. And yes, this is dirty because I was using it. I'm not gonna review something unless I've at least used it. So that slides on there. So that allows you to hold the hose here, and then the attachments can go like this. And there you go. Now the end of the wand has these quick attach bits that go in, so you can actually change the spray pattern, and the black one is the one that you actually use for soap. So say you want to soap up, you put that in there, and then whenever you go to use the machine, it'll just do soap. It also comes with 5-degree, 15-degree, and 25-degree nozzles. And as for the wheels, let's go ahead and put those on. It's real simple. They just slide up in there and lock. And if you want to keep it ultra compact, you don't have to put the wheels on. Like if I was taking this on the road with me, I would take the wheels off, because this is a very small footprint. I mean, this is only like 10 by 10 by probably like 16 for the unit, which is very small for a 2,000 PSI pressure washer. Now, all we have left to do is to put these 2 pieces together, just simply screw them on and tighten it down, and we're good to go ahead and try this out. I have the perfect thing that needs to be washed today, so we're gonna go ahead and here we are out in the driveway. Let's go ahead and get started. So here's where you put the soap in, right there. Now here's one of the problems with it I'll show you right now. If you know anything about pressure washers and you've used them before, almost all of them require a very liquid soap, something that is the consistency of water, and it tells you specifically in the book, don't use anything that's thicker than water. So I have some Zep here that I use to clean the garage. I'm not gonna mix this up because I don't need this today, but I'm just gonna use this as an example. All these are concentrates and they need to be diluted in a bucket of water. So usually I have to put a certain amount of water in the bucket and then put the detergent in, mix it up. And then from here you need to pour it into the bottle. And here is where one of the problems happen. So here we have our caustic bucket of chemicals full of acids and definite things you don't want to get spilled on you. And now we need to get into the pressure washer without making a mess. Well, good luck with that, because as you can see, you got to use a funnel. And it doesn't come with a funnel. And I suppose you could tilt it upright like this and dump it in this way. But again, it's really not going to be the cleanest thing. But what's good is that it's convenient. The bottle's built in. You don't have to worry about losing it or breaking it or whatever, like I do with my other bottle. I lose it all the time. But then it comes down to the second problem with the built-in bottle. Let's assume you're washing your car or washing the siding or washing your deck, right? So you're going to use soap first, obviously, and then you want to rinse with water. Well, say you fill this up all the way. You only use half the soap. What do? There's only one thing you can do, and that's dump it out. That was one thing I didn't like because I had some caustic chemicals in here to wash the concrete floor, and I let it run all the way out, and then it tells you to rinse it too, so you have to actually pour clean water in there to rinse it out. So not really the best idea, but if you're on the road and you want to keep everything minimalistic and simple, this is actually a pretty good way to go. The final step in the process is to go ahead and hook up the pressure hose as shown here to the wand, and it actually does hold the wand in there upright, pretty solid. Now, if you're using a long hose like I am, you should run the water for a little bit to make sure the hose is completely full of water, because you have to purge the air out of the pressure washer otherwise, which can take quite a while. So I currently have the water on. I currently have the faucet turned on, so I just pull the trigger and you can hear the air coming out, and it should start shooting just unpressurized water. Now you're going to see it's going to spurt a bunch of times as it's getting the air out of the lines. If you don't get the air out of the line and you turn it on, that's what happens. So sometimes it takes a minute. Yeah, it shoots quite far. I'm actually hitting those trees. Looks like we're getting most of the air out of the line now. There we go. Now I'm not using soap because I actually don't have the correct soap for the pressure washer to wash this. If I try to use the concrete stuff, it'll just melt the plastic. So I'm just going to use fresh water, but you can pretend I'm using soap. And like I said, the tips are interchangeable. So this one is actually the 0 degree one, or 5 degrees. I don't know what it says there, but they pop out real easy. Now this one's probably going to be too much for the side by side. So let's go ahead and switch it out for the 15 degree one. Can easily do it with one hand. So this is the 15 degree nozzle, and I'll go ahead and just hose this thing down now. It does a really great job on the wheels. And that can also get hard to reach places, like up in the suspension. And the seats are filthy as always, so. Now it goes without saying, you don't want to shoot this into the ignition or any electronics. As waterproofed as these things are, they're not really designed for high pressure water. So I only do like the sides, the underneath, the seats, the floors. I usually don't do the dashboard. I can do the windshield though, so since the windshield's dirty, let's go ahead and do that. And even though it's just plain water, it does a fantastic job because it's under pressure. So it's getting all the dirt off. Now, I'd probably spray this down before I soaped it up to get all, so you don't scratch it all up, especially this plexiglass. It's anti-scratch. But if you have it covered in sand and you try to clean it with Windex, you're going to scratch it up. So something like this, if you own a side-by-side or ATV, or you go off-roading in a 4x4 truck and you want to hose it down afterwards, this is the way to go. Now I'm going to head this question off at the pass because I know some of you are already going to ask, can you feed this from a 5-gallon bucket instead of a pressurized hose? I haven't tried it because I don't have my short hose anymore. I lost it somewhere in the move, but my other pressure washer, I tested it. As long as you have the bucket higher than the pressure washer, it will suck the water down into it, and you can actually use a 5-gallon bucket and a pressure washer if you don't have a faucet. I'm assuming this will do the same thing, but again, I can't test it because that little hose is missing. I can't use a 50-foot hose from a bucket. It's just not going to work. But on my road trek, I do have a little outside spigot under the wheel that I can attach, and it uses the 12-volt pump inside to pressurize the water. And that's how I've been using the pressure washer on the road. I can be out in the middle of the national forest and still pressure wash my ATV from my road trek because I'm just using the 12-volt onboard water pump to pump it outside through a little faucet. Now, those of you that have a road trek, That's under the driver's side rear wheel well. Now it's only cold water. You're not going to want to wash your body, but we use it a lot for washing off our muddy boots and stuff like that when we're out in the national forest. For those of you curious, this is that spigot I'm talking about. You just need an adapter to make it threaded for a 1/2-inch hose. Now I almost forgot to wash the one thing I wanted to wash on this. That's the dump bed. Because after cleaning up all that brush on the homestead, this thing's filthy in the back. Bada bing. So if you're interested in the Westinghouse ePX3000 pressure washer, link is below in the description, and look for that promo code. Thanks for watching. If you learned something today, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below, and if you're not a subscriber already, you know what to do. That's it for now. Till next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe, and clean my litter box.
Check it out. RV parking on the homestead is a go. I have at least 100-foot parking for RVs. And guess what? I already got my first guest. You guys remember Donnie and Rachel, Donnie Tomato Juice Guy, Rachel Cajun from the last several RTR and Quartzsite campfires. Well, he came up from Tucson to hang out with me. Since I lived at his place for like the whole summer, he decided to come up for a couple days and hang out. So pretty cool. Glad we got this all cleaned up in time. That there's a big old pile that needs to get burned.
RV Golf Guy, Z Foxfire, Jack Smith.